Hello, everyone. I am so glad to see you today. We have another interesting conversation about the intersections of Christianity and some of the ways that Lutheranism is present, particularly here in the Sierra Pacific Synod. And I have a guest that I am excited for you to learn more about. Will you please introduce yourself?
Hello. Hello, Bishop. So I'm Charbel. Zgheib. I'm from Lebanon. I'm 40 years old and I just came to the US beginning of August. And yes, I'm here. I'm a student enrolled in the MDiv, in the PLTS. And I'm preparing myself for the ministry in Sacramento, a new mission with the Afghani, Arab, and Middle Eastern population.
Yeah. And so you're at Pacific Lutheran Theological Seminary right now, right?
Yes.
You also have a previous degree that you earned in Beirut, right?
Yeah.
What is biblical and theological education like in Beirut?
Well, basically, I have two degrees. First one, I have a degree in clinical social psychology, and the second one is a degree in theology and pastoral sciences. So it's a 3 years of education. We go through many topics. It's basically it's a Catholic university, and it's a Catholic teaching. And this is why I'm now within the PLTS, just gaining or learning more about the Lutheran theology.
And you did a little bit of online study.
Last year.
Studies. Yeah. I heard you got an A. Good job. What is it about the Lutheran Church that interests you?
Well, I was in the seminary, in the Catholic seminary for 2 years, and let me say, I didn't fit very well. I'm very human rights oriented. This was because I had my work in humanitarian work for more than 15 years. And I found that the Lutheran Church is very human rights oriented, and it's very inclusive. It's very, let me say, it's a church that respects all the human rights. And I wanted to be part of that church, and I wanted to have this, just being myself and just being compatible with what I have learned and what I believe in. So basically, this is why I chose and I searched for the Lutheran Church.
And you have done a lot of human rights work, a lot of immigration work, a lot of refugee support. Will you tell people a little bit about your background, kind of all over?
Okay. Basically, I work with many as a clinical social psychologist, and I started my work in the humanitarian field basically in 2006 or 2007. I first worked in the prisons for almost 10 years or 9 years. And after that, I worked with many national, international NGOs and UN agencies, and on many fields. Well, I worked with gender-based violence, interfaith dialogue. I worked with engaging men in ending violence against women. I worked in engaging religious leaders toward child rights. I work with the religious leaders also on the topic of engaging them to work with people having HIV positive and the key population of people having HIV positive. And what else? I had also a radio show and TV show on a channel in Lebanon, on a spiritual channel in Lebanon. And yeah, that's it briefly.
Yeah, just briefly, some of the stuff you've been up to. It's pretty impressive stuff. for those who haven't been a part of it. I'm really excited because a lot of the work that Bishop Mark and Pastor Tita did kind of prior to my time in this synod is to kind of start working on developing a new outreach ministry, a mission start, as we call them in our synod. And it's so to be in the Sacramento area, maybe in the Carmichael area where there's a large Arab population, because you speak Arabic and French and English, in addition to having all of this training that you have. But so to be working on a new mission start in the Sacramento area, caring for people who are from the Middle East or speak Arabic, and caring for folk who might be coming as refugees or immigrants from Afghanistan, and to try to care for those communities, which is a very urgent need at the moment. I'm wondering, can you speak a little more about this new development work that you're beginning to be up to?
Well, now we are exploring the field. So now we are visiting the area in Sacramento, Carmichael, and other areas, just to identify the location of the community and the best location that we can implement this mission. Yes, and most of people think that the Arab and Middle Eastern community are mostly Muslims, and I guess this is a wrong assumption, because you have a very huge community in the Arab world that they are Christians, and it's a very diverse world, the Arab and Middle Eastern area. So basically, you have many cultures, many communities coming from Syria, Jordan, Palestine, Lebanon, Iraq. So it's really diverse, and it's really different from a country to another. And you have many, let me say, sects of Christians. So you have Catholic, you have Orthodox, you have Protestant, you have from many diverse Christians there. So yes, now we are just exploring the field, exploring the area, meeting with mission partners, meeting with people there in the area, some of the leaders in the community, and now we're more exploring how we're going to help also the Afghani people, because as you know, the Afghan situation now is very horrible, and we are expecting here in Sacramento like 190,000 Afghani immigrants and refugees coming to the area of Sacramento. So basically, we are just preparing the ground, talking with partners, with national and international organizations working on the field, and just bringing all the actors together just to be aware and to know how to welcome and how to protect the coming Afghan.
Well, and there's a number of groups who have come together to try to provide some support. There's some of the Lutheran congregations in Sacramento and in Carmichael. There's Lutheran Disaster Response, and the Pacific Lutheran Theological Seminary and California Lutheran University have put some funding together to try to provide some of this support. Would you be willing to describe to people some of the things that you all will be working on? Because you have a 3-year grant from Lutheran Disaster Response. Would you be willing to try to share some of that information? I know it's easier to share with flow charts and flip charts and markers. I've seen you do wonder with diagrams, but would you be willing to explain some of that?
I'll just share, the most important, the overall objective. So basically, it's to contribute to the improvement of the protection opportunities for Arab immigrants and refugees throughout the country via the implementation of protection referral mechanism that we are opting to do. So basically, as church, we're not a specialized agency in protection, but basically we can welcome people. So we have 3 main let me say, axes to work on. The first one is the food distribution. The second one is the legal awareness. And the third one, the GBV awareness, or gender-based violence awareness. And specifically, we're gonna tackle the topic of violence within the family, the family violence. So it's a 3 axes. So basically, we give food, we give awareness on legal and violence. And we're going to be a referral agency. So first of all, we're going to have a service mapping for all the agents that they are working on the legal part. When we talk about legal, we talk about the papers, we talk about the status of the persons in the United States, and after that, we can refer them to a specialized agency that works on this issue. And when we talk about the violence, also we can identify and refer persons to specialized services in the area that we are working with. The 3 years grant, it will be in 3 different churches. It will be in Salam Arabic Lutheran Church in New York. It will be in Mother of the Savior Church in Dearborn, and it's an Episcopal church. And it will be also here in Sacramento.
Yeah, and I'm grateful that you shared about the 3 sites, because I think people might not be aware that there are Arabic-speaking Lutherans here in the ELCA in the United States. And I think the more awareness we can provide to the greater diversity that is across our country, the more we can also imagine ourselves reaching out to folk in the communities around us. And I'm super excited about this partnership. I'm excited by how much the Arabic-speaking Lutherans have already embraced me and welcomed me as I try to listen for ways that I can kind of support some of the stuff that they're up to. And I'm delighted that there are congregations that are already kind of thriving, so that you have folk that you can learn from and have mentors with, and all the things that are hard when you're, coming to a new country to try to be what God is, to do what God is calling you to do. I'm wondering if you could speak a little bit about, when we were talking earlier, you talked about this being a God adventure. Right, the idea that you felt
before
called.
I just want to yes, I will.
Yeah.
But before, I just want to say that this grant is through Alami.
Oh yes.
And Alami, it's the Arab Lutheran Middle Eastern Heritage community. So I just want to thank them all, and Pastor Khadr, for everything, and for all the efforts that they made for everything regarding this school.
Yeah,
okay.
They're a great group.
Yeah. So adventure with God.
Yeah, tell us about your adventure with God.
Yeah. So basically, for me, I wanted to say that my whole life was an adventure with God. So in every moment in my life, God was present and leading me to another step. So the first 40 years of my life, I had many struggles. I had many things to do in life. I built a very good career. I had a very good job in Lebanon. And I had a very good family, very well connected to my friends, to my siblings, to everything. So, but for me, I didn't felt that I'm really fulfilled, and I wanted to fulfill my dream in life, to become a servant of God and to serve the church. So this is why I always let him just guide me, and I always felt that I'm open to his guidance, and I'm open to the adventures that he gave me. So I just took the decision after 2 years or 3 years of negotiation, because let me say that God doesn't want us to just be a nonsense person. He wants us to prepare the adventures with him. And I don't want to be on my safe zone, and I don't want to be in my, let me say, in a place that everything is okay, just okay. I want to put all what I have learned, all what I have experienced in my life in His hands. So basically, I just took the decision that I want to pursue my call in the United States to serve God here within the Arab and Middle Eastern community, and within the refugees and the Afghani, and within the people that that wants help, and that want to see God's mercy and love. So I choose the adventure with God.
I think that's wonderful. I hope we all choose adventures with God's, whether or not our adventure with God takes us to another country, or it just helps us to love creation a little bit more. I hope that we all kind of join in on that adventure.
Yeah, and now we need that. I guess it's the most needed now because of the hate in the whole world, because of the disasters. So I guess love, it's the only power that can heal now. So we'll never have enough money to cover all the poverty, to cover all the disasters, to cover everything, and to be all happy. And maybe, I guess, we are here just to be, in God's hand, to just heal. And I guess when it comes to refugees and immigrants, and so sometimes you have, as when the Syrian crisis began, so we had a lot of money, we had a huge amount of budgets for the Syrian crisis. Now it's becoming less and less, and the social actors can go. But church and the servants of God must be always present. This is why I guess our presence, it's not only social within this community, it's a presence of a healing person. It's a presence of someone who will tell you that God will always be with you, and love is unconditional. So if you have money or no, if you have home or no, if you have a country or no, if you are blessed, if you are white, colored, if you are whatever you are, so God is here for you. I guess this is our main message as church to give now. We can give social, help, and we can do this and that. We can be professional, and it's a duty for us to be professional in giving services. But I guess we need to be professional in giving God's love and God's mercy towards all human beings, not only for refugees and the Afghani, I guess, for all human beings around us, and to lead by example. So, and our leader is Jesus, so we need to lead by his example, no?
I agree. I can see why you got an A in the Lutheran class, because I think for me that's one of my favorite things about being a Lutheran too, is that we don't keep score. We don't think God keeps score. We think that God shows up for you and is liberating and freedom making and inspiring people and naming and claiming them, regardless of the ways that you might screw it up on accident or on purpose, the ways that your government might screw it up on accident or on purpose, or the ways that disaster or war or other things might change your life plans in ways that you didn't expect. And so it's such a wonderful, I think, way of providing outreach and care, because we can provide food to everyone without needing to make sure they check certain lists that other places might need to, whether it's a government space or a religious space. And we can provide spiritual care in that same way, of knowing God's going to name and claim folk no matter where they came from and no matter where they're headed next. And it's my favorite things.
And also, I guess, our dignity is not acquired from anyone on earth. So it's built in. It's within us. It's a gift from God to us, and our freedom also. So this is why I guess the dignity of the person, even if the person himself or herself or theyself just didn't want to acknowledge their dignity, it's for us to just let that dignity shine within them.
Yeah.
So because it's the image of God. that it will be shining. Yeah.
Well, so during your time doing a lot of kind of humanitarian work, and in your recent move across the globe away from some of the people who root you to the earth, what have been some of the Bible stories that have fed you during this time, or that have reminded you of the hope and joy and peace of God in the midst of these kind of chaotic times? Are there any that you think of?
Well, I have one word. When Jesus, I guess in John Gospel, when he was choosing the disciples, so he turned in, and the Gospel says he looked at him and he loved him. So basically, as a human being, we prejudge. Let me say, in the first 30 seconds, we give maybe almost 70 prejudgments. So as a human being, look, God just look at us in an eye of love. So for me, love and the way he looks at us, I guess I learned this from the prison, So when I worked in the prison, so you work with ISIS, you work with let me say criminals, with drug dealers, with killers, serial killers. So when you look at them, if you don't see the image of God inside them, and you don't look at them as God looks at us, all human beings, I guess you will miss working with the most vulnerable people. So they need just this look, the look of God, the look that doesn't have any judgment inside it. And I guess this can heal. This looking without any judgment, with love only, can heal.
Yeah, I think there's a similar moment in Matthew's gospel where Jesus has just lost his cousin. John the Baptist has died, and he tries to go off into the desert alone, maybe to mourn, but to be alone. And when he gets there, everyone else is there too. And the disciples are kind of being protective, like, no, Jesus wants to be alone. And Jesus spends the whole day with the people, and they're grumpy. And then he has this moment where he looks at them and he loves them, right? He has that moment of just a heart change, right? Where he might have been stuck in his own mourning and grief, but then he saw all these people who needed him, and his heart changes. And I love that moment. And then the next moment is then like, I'm going to feed these people, and I'm going to tell them the Beatitudes, and I'm going to tell them that they are blessed in all of the places that they are. And so there are kind of moments, no matter what's going on in our own life, I think, where we have those heart changes too. This might be one of those times in the world. You might be right. Yeah.
I guess this is it. Yeah. This is the foundation of everything for me. Love is the foundation of everything. If we cannot love, if we cannot see the world in the eyes of love, and this love is Jesus, this is God. So I guess we miss very, very, very much. So I guess this is it for me.
Yeah, here goes the adventure, right?
Yeah,
of what happens.
Full of love.
Yeah, of the love. Yeah, exactly. Well, and I'm excited that you're in Berkeley now, connecting with seminary colleagues and with folk who can, add a little to the theology you already have to help you get through the culture shock of being in a brand new place, and some folk to be able to ask questions to in a learning situation, so that when you're doing this new exploration in Sacramento, that you can be both an expert and a learner at the same time, if that makes sense, like with all of the wisdom that you bring to this space, but also to have kind of cheerleaders on the journey that are rooting for you and helping you get centered in all of the things that are going to just need literal translation from where you have been to where you are now.
I guess every adventure, you will carry on everything with you. So we carry what you have as in your life, in your childhood, in your work experience, in your whatever you had through this life, and also you need to learn within this experience. So it's a matter of it's always like this. You have your own experience and expertise, and if you don't learn more, you will lose. So basically, I guess it's always the way to begin new steps, new missions. So this is why I was telling Pastor Tita when we were visiting the field and the churches and the pastors, they're all the partners. So I don't have much to say. It's my turn now to listen and to learn. And after that, maybe I will have to discuss or to say a lot of things. But first of all, we need to listen. I guess in this world and in whatever is going with politics, with policies in the world, I guess we need now to just listen, because all of the powerful entities in the world just want to say what they just want to to dictate, just want to guide. So sometimes it's okay to be guided.
Well, there are a number of people who are watching, who are sending you well wishes. We've got lots of people who are lifting up prayers of Thanksgiving for you. People excited to be watching. Folk who are excited about your adventure, and folk who want to send you greetings now that you are here with us in the United States. And
thank you.
I think I've said this to you before, but I'll say it again, because it's always good to say nice things publicly and on a recording in case you forget that I mean it later. But like, I'm incredibly proud of the work that you're up to. Like, not only what imagined outcomes might be or things that you might have to fill in grant paperwork, but also like proud of just your willingness to fly across the world and follow what God is up to in your life, and to be in this space as a listener. And so know that I'm rooting for you, and I know that lots of people around our synod are rooting for you for sure.
I know there were many supporters, churches, individuals, seminary folks, so many partners, many persons that were very supportive, and I'm grateful for that. They donate many things.
Yeah, it's been a whole Lutheran village of people who have kind of
indeed,
paved the way to get you to this space and to get the community, that whatever the community ends up looking like or where it ends up being located. I have opinions, of course, about places I think are pretty, or places that might be rich places, or where the yummiest food was at the grocery stores nearby that had Middle Eastern food. But regardless of what happens with all those decisions, it's for me been a real sign of one of the amazing things Lutherans can do when they connect with each other, and the ways that they can work together. And you were delayed in getting here because the coronavirus happened, and I imagine that must have been stressful and hard and strange. And going through an immigration process is also stressful and hard and strange. But there is something about you arriving at the perfect timing, almost, it seems, that there is this very large number of people who are coming from Afghanistan, who desperately need the exact thing that you have come here to build for them. And so there is something that feels almost like it's even more in the hands of God that the timing has worked out.
Yeah, I guess, this is it. I have, as you said before, so I have an expertise in working with refugees and immigrants, and so we will see what happens, but for sure we will serve the community. For sure we will serve the Afghani community in this big crisis, big humanitarian crisis. So I know how it feels for someone to quit and his own land and to come with nothing. So because I have experienced also that within Lebanon. So with the war, with the civil war in Lebanon, so we experienced how to move and to move without having anything. So yeah, it's hard, and I guess when you deal with these issues and you had before the experience, I guess it's better to support the refugees if you were one day a refugee, so you can really understand the feeling, really understand the what they are going through from within, inside and outside. So I guess yes, we will have a lot to do, and we are ready.
Yeah, you're in the midst of doing the work, and there's lots of work to come for sure. I wonder, for those who maybe haven't had an opportunity to speak with Christians from the Middle East before, or particularly someone from Lebanon before, what are some of the wonderful things about your home country that you would like to share with people who might be hearing about it firsthand for one of the first times?
Well, I want to say that Lebanon is a very good country. It's a very beautiful country. I want to say that now we are going through a very hard time in Lebanon, but I'm sure that God is with us in Lebanon, and we will go through that and will be a very good country. I will tell them that we have a very good gastronomy and very good food. So, and we have also many spiritual places to visit and to see, and they are very beautiful and very wild nature also. And I invite you all, if you want to come to Lebanon, we can arrange like a trip, and I will be your guide.
Yeah, I'll take you.
But before we can cook here,
yeah,
before we can cook some Lebanese food here.
Yeah. Well, and you said you're a baker, right?
Yeah, I can bake and I can cook. I can do both.
What are some of the foods that you like to cook?
Oh, Arabic food.
Mm-hmm.
You know tabbouleh?
Yeah.
Okay. Tabbouleh, you can have hummus.
Mm-hmm.
You can have baba ghanoush.
Yes.
So yeah, we can have kibbeh. So yeah.
All right. I'm in. You always have me with the yummy foods, especially Middle Eastern foods.
Yeah, fattoush also is good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So one of the things, my sister speaks Arabic, and her family speaks Arabic. They're Muslim, but the prayer language that they use in Arabic is so poetic and beautiful. I don't know much about what it is like. I assume because the Arabic language is so poetic, that probably all the types of prayers that are done are poetic and beautiful. Are there particular like Christian prayers in Arabic that speak to your heart, or that are at least some words that you might be willing to say out loud for the first time, so that our ears can start learning some of the languages of prayer that speak to your heart?
Okay, so
Yeah.
just to avoid confusion, so we have many accents. We have the spoken accent, and we have the written Arabic. So the written Arabic is the official one to write, but you have many accents in each country, and in each region you have a different accent and how to speak the Arabic one. So saying, do you want something spiritual or something?
You get to choose. I'm not going to be able to fact check you because I don't speak Arabic, but I will trust you. Yeah.
Okay, I will say a small prayer in Arabic. Okay, it says, تعال يا روح الله واملأ قلوبنا العطشة. تعال يا روح الله وقد أنفسنا العطشة. تعال يا روح الله واغمر نفوسنا الكئيبة. تعال يا روح الله وكن معنا روح الحكمة والمحبة والمعرفة. تعال يا روح الله وانصرنا في كل ما نقوم به. So this was a little prayer. It talks about the Spirit and the Spirit of God, so to lift us and to bring joy and to be with us and to guide us.
It definitely sounds beautiful in Arabic. I love the rhythms of it. It's repetitive in the beginning and then in the end again. Yes.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah. Do you have any? You also speak French. Do you have any favorite prayers in French?
Non.
Yeah, you don't have to. I just was curious.
Pour le moment, non.
Yeah.
Parce que bon, c'est un peu difficile. It's a little bit difficult just to have a prayer now. Yeah. I can say the Holy Father if you want.
Nice. I like it. Well, I just like this idea that part of our work of caring for the full diversity of those who are worshiping around the globe is in some ways of helping all of the different languages that people speak become something that we normalize, that like we know that God's love extends in all of the languages. And so I didn't mean to give you a pop quiz or make you feel like I'm testing your memory or anything like that. But I just, for me, it's so beautiful to hear people who have a language that is like a language of their heart, that they speak with their family and those that they love, and to be able to hear them say words of prayer in those languages too always feels like it's a way of at least reminding ourselves, when far too often we might forget and think that even Jesus prayed in English, which wasn't the case. To be able to like hear more of the languages of prayer really makes my heart feel happy. So yeah, that was a beautiful gift of praying with us. Thank you. Yeah. And you're learning Greek this semester. Is that true? Ancient Greek?
I already took my Greek course. I will discover now what's new in this course.
What's new about ancient Greek?
Yeah.
That was a nice.
Maybe the way of teaching.
The way of explaining it in English, maybe. Yeah.
And I guess here we need to explore a new software that translates words, and
wow,
I guess it will be exciting.
Yeah,
because the Greek language is the language that the first gospel was written with the Greek. So basically, it's very important to how we interpret the gospel. So is our languages something that come easy to you, or something that you've just done out of necessity and in the jobs that you do? Is it a particular gift of yours? Well, no, in Lebanon we are French. Our second language is French. So my third language is English. And no, we just learn French and English in school. So basically, it's within us. In Lebanon.
Makes sense. Yeah, it's a very diverse world. It makes sense to learn lots of languages right off the bat. Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if there are, is there anything, I know you haven't been in the United States very long yet, but is there anything you've noticed that is particularly different or slightly a different translation than you expected from kind of American congregations as of yet?
Well, not really, but I just the bread is different from my country. There's no Arabic bread here, at least in the Berkeley area. Well, I guess in Lebanon we are too much, let me say, pushy to invite someone. No, please, you need to stay, you need to eat, you need to do this, oh, come on, come. So here, no, it's just yes or no. So it's different culturally. So, and it's not very well perceived as a welcome person if you don't insist. So within the Arab and Middle Eastern, you need to insist on the person to, to have him with you. And the fact of the medication. So in Lebanon, you can buy whatever you want of medication. Here you need a prescription, even for a cream for your face or, for your eye contact lenses. So I need a prescription for my eye contact lenses. Otherwise, I couldn't see. So yes, it's a little bit different, the system. And the health system is a little bit different to take an appointment, and it's a little bit complicated. Other than that, everything is fine till now. This is what I learned till now.
I like it. Well, I've been a little bit pushy because but I'm grateful to know that it's within the culture, so I'm allowed to be a little bit pushy. But I have been delighted because there have been many people on my staff who have watched your television show and have really been delighted. Some of them confessed to me that they had started watching it and were so interested in your television show that they watched it like until 2 a.m, like because they were really enjoying it. And so my pushiness has been like really just being like, we've got to get you on a live stream. Like we can't have someone doing like Lutheran ministry who knows how to have their own television show and not like have sort of live stream. So I would love if it's not outside of your culture to be pushy enough to invite you to maybe do some of these interviews and conversations with people, particularly people around the world, so we can learn more about kind of global Christianity and learn more about immigration and refugee work that needs to happen.
And maybe also we can have some, some Arabic conversations.
Yes.
From guests that they need to talk in Arabic, and it will be a good platform, or in French.
Yes. Maybe. Yeah, I am into all of that, and I hope to be very pushy about it. There's at least one other person who likes being pushy. If you want a pushy invite to a meal, there is an invite for you to hang out with the Latinx community. Pastor Hazel has sent greetings and thanks for your work. I value your community, and I'm excited to see how God is moving during this time.
Thank you.
Sharon, you might know Sharon.
Yeah, sure.
Is sending love and support from your Pacific Lutheran Theological Seminary colleagues.
Thank you, Sharon.
And they're glad to see that you are in the space. I'm really delighted by kind of your intentionality and your way of kind of seeing the world, and it gives me a lot of hope for the ways that we can partner with each other in our synod. And so you've given me a lot of hope during this conversation as well. And so
thank you.
Yeah. Are there ways that we can support the work that you are up to?
Well, pray. First of all, we can pray for this new mission. And for sure, we can donate if we can.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I guess they know how to donate. The person that are live now, so they know how to donate.
Yep.
And I guess one thing also, if they have some potential ideas, how to maybe they have some comments, if they have some advices to give us, if they know some Arab and Middle Eastern and Afghani, if they know some poor people within the Sacramento area, also we are ready to help also and to support. So I guess it's a vice versa, we call it. So we need your support, we need your prayers, and also we can support you if you know anyone from the community or anyone that needs help and support within the Sacramento area. So I guess we will be ready to do that.
Yeah, and
Not only us, I guess, with our only partners
Yeah.
and connections, and yeah.
Absolutely. And in my are you looking for volunteers as well? Because you mentioned that you're going to be doing some food support.
For now, we need to define the exact location, and after that, yes, for sure, we will need volunteers. We will need person that they want to just be present. So for us, it's your presence that count. Present and to love only. This is our only requirements.
Yeah. And is it okay if the people don't speak Arabic?
Yeah.
You don't speak.
For sure.
Yeah.
But they need to speak Arabic or English or French just to communicate with me, at least.
Yeah, as long as they can communicate with you. Or just smile really big while caring for people.
Yeah. Also. But if there are some maybe some Afghani persons that are watching and they know English or Arabic or French, they can directly communicate with us, and we can, they can be a big support for us in our Sacramento new mission.
Yeah, and I was thinking too, like, as you all get settled a little bit more, there might be times when you might need help picking people up from the airport, or help giving people rides to services, or taking them to an appointment for their legal support and things like that. That might also be kind of helpful in the future. Again, not yet, because you're still doing in the listening and figure out your space and kind of define some of that. But when you're in the place where you're looking for volunteers, when you need, if you have ever kind of like tangible things, if you're like, hey, we need 1,000 knitted scarves, whatever the thing is, feel free to lift it up, and we'll let the folk throughout the synod know. And
well, as a Lutheran Church, we welcome everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
With no exceptions. Everyone who wants to help and support, we have an open door policy, so you can come and we can coordinate everything.
The other question that I wanted to chat with you about is that sometimes when there is a large group of people who are immigrating to the United States, no matter how they're coming, but particularly when it's refugee support, sometimes there is a fear develops about that group of people coming, a fear that they might displace resources that were going to go to a different group that was close to their heart, fear that people might not love the same God as them, fear that whatever the imaginings that pop up are about skin color or about culture of origin. And I want to kind of like say very clearly, I think as Lutherans, we affirm that all people are valued and loved by God. So hopefully we will be people who not only are not a part of racist conversations or a part of those cultures, but people who will speak in opposition to those things and kind of name God's love for everyone. You've just arrived, but have you experienced any discriminations or things like that you have noticed?
So many discriminations I have experienced in my life, and especially in Lebanon within the refugees and the hosting community. And it's a common trend, it's a global common trend, and everywhere within the refugees and the hosting community to have discrimination, because fear is there. Fear is a big, let me say, a big something that happened within the refugee and immigrant things, and the settlement of all of this. So the refugees themselves are afraid from the host community, and the host community is afraid from the refugees. It's a mutual fear, and I guess we need as a church to address both of them, because we need to be with the host community and to address their fears, and also with the refugees that they are vulnerable. But the level of vulnerability is different within the host and the refugees. So this is why, as a church, we will be with everyone, as I said. So we'll try to be present within the host community also, just to tell them that you are also loved. If you have anything, any problem, any difficulties, we can support also as a church. But we need also to support our brothers and sisters in Christ that they have other issues, other more urgent issues regarding their settlement, their lives, their identity. So I guess what we call the social cohesion between the different parties within the community will be, I guess, a major thing that we need to work on.
Yeah. Well, I hope that we can certainly, as a community of 100 and almost 88 Lutheran congregations and social service organizations, kind of throughout Central and Northern California and parts of Nevada, that we can lend our voices to the people who are on the side of love rather than on the side of fear. And if there are ways that we can help communities be better at translating God's love directly into love in English or Arabic or French, whatever languages we need to speak love in, that we can do that not only for ourselves, but our neighbors, and regardless of the languages our neighbors speak. And so that's something that is very close to my heart. And I know it's something that you have been dedicating your life to working on. And so I just wanted to make sure we name that so that people can have their ears open for when they might hear something that is based in fear rather than in the love of God that they've known forever, and particularly to care for our newest neighbors need our love just as strongly as our oldest neighbors.
And I guess everyone from us has his own struggles, from within inside. So we need to deal with our struggles and not letting these struggles just be on our defensive mode. Mm-hmm. So we need to deal with our struggles. We need to deal with our imperfection. We need to deal with our, let me say, wounds. So it's for us to deal with it. It's not for the people that they are around us to deal with it.
Yeah. Well, and I'll bring it back to the Bible stories we were talking to. Is may we all, whomever it is that sometimes brings up a lump of fear in our stomach, whatever type of people it is, whatever situation it is, whatever conflict it is, may all involved in those moments have changes in their hearts where they can look at all of their fellow citizens and non-citizens and immigrants and all the ways that people populate a place, whether or not they're recognized or not. And no matter what state their immigration paperwork is in, may all people kind of experience those moments of love from our eyes and from our service and from our words. And because they definitely already have it from the love of God. They don't need permission to have God's love from us. But yeah, that's my big wish. And I hope that everyone who is watching join me in praying for Charbel.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the community in Sacramento for the people from Afghanistan who are already here and will be joining us, for all of the Middle Eastern and Arabic speaking folk, particularly those in Sacramento, because those are the ones that you'll be kind of spending some intentional time with. Pray for the students at PLTS and at California Lutheran University and all of the folk who are working hard to support people. Pray for the Arabic Lutheran and Middle Eastern folk within the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, the congregation in Dearborn and in New York, and all of the people who have been working for years and years. Is this 8 years in the making, right?
Mm.
Yeah, so who have been working for 8 years to have this moment of...
Well, initially it was from 12 years ago, but 8 years they are working to get...
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. And the dream comes true.
Yes, and here we are. And so let's check in again and see how it's going in a little while. Maybe you can give us an update of where you are next, and then maybe I can also pester you enough to start your own conversation on this live stream.
So basically, now I'm just having my studies.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to focus on my study, and while studying also, we're gonna launch the mission.
Yes.
And we're gonna just explore the mission. And here we are, just having some time within the study and some other time just launching the mission.
Very good. Well, blessings on you and blessings on all that are about to be a part of your new community. I feel it bubbling up into the world, and I'm delighted that you are here and for all that you are up to.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, everybody.